Good? All right, only 10 minutes late. Apparently school's back in session, and we didn't realize that for this room, so we just got set up a little late, so thanks for your patience. Welcome to A2 New Tech. I'm Brian Kelly. First time, how many people are here for the first time this evening? Just a quick show of hands. Okay, maybe 50%, so that's really great. This meetup first came on my radar before I even lived in Ann Arbor. Back in 2010, 2011, I was living in DC and I was considering coming out to this area at some point if I could make it work. And seeing that there were already 2,000 people part of a meetup that had to do with startups and technology was a pretty good sign to me. So it's really fun to be here, having been in Ann Arbor for 3+ years and now being able to participate in it. So special thanks to Zach and Doug for giving me the nod to continue this and for starting this meetup group up. So just real short background of me, since the first time maybe many of you have met me or seen who I am. I moved here in 2012 to join Duo Security. These two co-founders here convinced me to come out right before they had raised some money from Google, and haven't looked back. So I've been with Duo was at Duo for 3.5 years, and this past summer moved to another Ann Arbor startup called Nutshell, and I'm helping them run product and marketing. So committed to this community. I've seen a ton grow over the past few years, and this is one of the sort of really cool events that hasn't had any formal sponsorship. It's been completely, bottom up, and I think everybody here showing up once every month, every third Tuesday, is a testament to its success. So what's this all about for new folks here? Everybody's really busy. All entrepreneurs and technologists have plenty on their plate, but it's super important to take some time to get together in the same physical space. So that's sort of like where this started, and the other part was what could we do to help both new entrepreneurs and people even just with an idea starting a company, how could they get involved? And this is sort of a practice forum for it, call it a dress rehearsal, if you will, before doing a bigger pitch. The format is very simple. Each month, we try to have 5 companies. They do 5 minutes of pitch, telling what their business is all about, why it's going to be huge. 5 minutes of Q&A, and the microphones in front of you, housekeeping note, you just hold them down if you want to ask a question, then it'll amplify you. And then we'll have some time for some community announcements. People are, which the common one is hiring or looking for a job. You're going to advertise yourself or advertise your company. It's an opportunity to do that. And afterward, I don't know, it's warm out tonight. Should we go to Dominic's afterward? That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Better go to Pizza Hut.
Or Pizza House. I don't know. We'll decide that by the end and let everyone know. Take advantage of being in this same physical space with all the people in here. Sometimes Ann Arbor feels like while it's a small place, it's hard to connect with all people with common interests, but this is a really good forum to do so. See if I covered all my notes. Oh, so thank yous to sponsors. So A2 Geeks, if you're not familiar with it, it's a nonprofit. Started here a number of years ago to help organize events like this. They're one of the founding and continual sponsors of this event. Roger Rail down here in front from R2 Vive is kind enough to record and live stream. He also, is working under the gun here. So thanks again, Roger, for making it happen today. And also the space. We're really thankful to the entrepreneurship clinic at U of M that has graciously let us use the space for almost all of this year, and through the end of the year it will be held here. I'll let you know if it changes in January. So mute your gadgets, and if you must use them, tweet with hashtag A2NewTech. And we're going to welcome our first speakers up, Maria and Ryan from LivWell.
Everybody? Good evening. As Brian said, my name is Ryan Gourley, and my partner in crime here is Maria Gosur. I'm going to switch places with you. And we are co-owners of Illico Creative, which is a design and development group that caters to the social impact community. We're very pleased to introduce you tonight to LivWell. Joining us on this project is Ryan Sani and Jeremy Goldman. LivWell is a community engagement platform to help you access health and wellness resources in your community. Before we delve too deep into what it is and what it looks like, let's revisit the original problem. We initially set out to build a healthcare management mobile app, so things like medication adherence, appointment reminders, things like that. What we've learned in customer discovery so far, though, is that the people that we set out to build this for didn't really need that. What they told us is that what they needed is something more fundamental. So all the things that undergird good health, the things that support it, that many of us take for granted until they're missing. So things like access to reliable transportation and education, so you can get to a job that helps you pay for the medications you need in the first place, let alone wholesome food, so maybe you don't need to take so many to begin with. Time and again, what we were hearing is that what the real need was assistance overcoming access to the system and then navigating it once they're in. LivWell is a consumer-facing web app. It is tailored to the individual user, streamlining the process of navigating the system.
So we are currently in the wireframing stage of our development, and we cater to multiple user personas. And the one we're going to focus on tonight is the individual user who is looking for a specific resource. So when this user accesses LivWell, they're going to be prompted to create a user profile. Within this user profile, they are going to complete a needs assessment, and this needs assessment is just to pinpoint exactly what resources are most relevant to them. Once they complete their user profile, they are going to enter the LivWell dashboard, where they are visually presented with the resources that are most relevant to them in a visual format, something that we're calling cards. And these cards can be sorted and categorized via a tagging system. So what do these cards look like specifically? Well, let's take a look at a couple examples. Here we have a card that is a community-based organization. The front of the card is the visual identity of this organization. When you hover over the card, it shows you information in one-line sentence about this organization. You can share this card, and you can also favorite it against different settings within their user profile. Another example of a card might be something that is an advertising partner. Again, the front of the card is a visual representation of their identity. The back of the card, in this case, is to showcase how to redeem this particular offer. So what happens when you click on a card? When you click on a card, this is a very zoomed out format here, you get information like general contact information, description, and media such as images or video. What makes LivWell unique is that it's user generated, it's dynamic, and crowdsourced. So users who have used this resource before can generate user reviews and endorse resources based on different characteristics.
All right, so in a nutshell, wrapping up, we provide a community engagement platform to help you connect with health and wellness resources around you. We do this by partnering with service providers and engaging users to build lasting links to care. For users, we aim to enhance their quality of life. For social service agencies, the idea is to improve efficiency and economic impact. For government agencies, it's our belief that we will have the ability to improve resource allocation, and then for advertisers and sponsors, our aim is to optimize their customer acquisition and retention. Tonight, our ask of you is mentorship, counsel, or introductions in any of these domains. Particularly, we're targeting community-based organizations to begin with. Anyone in the health and wellness ecosystem, that includes pharma, pharmacies, and pharmaceuticals, fitness retailers, gyms, health food stores, all of the above. And then as well as any potential leads on funding opportunities. We're primarily targeting grant funding to begin with. We are also looking for assistance in web development. If that is something that you or someone you know might be interested in, please come talk to us afterwards, or you can reach us at hello@livwell.co. And finally, if you like what you heard tonight, please support us online. You can find us on all of the important social media interweb areas. All right, thank you, and that's it.
You guys planned that pretty well. Okay, let's do 5 minutes of questions. So I'll just help moderate and ask. Who would like to ask these guys a question? Zach.
Where did the idea come from? You had these markets you were working on, but you also indicated there were some people who you were talking to as potential users of the system. So how did that sort of come from?
Right, so we started about a year ago focusing on, it was originally supposed to be a mobile app for people living with HIV, and it's based on some members of our team, their personal experience caregiving people in that community. And so over the summer, we were, with the time and some additional funding, we were afforded the opportunity to do a deep dive into customer discovery, and the people living with HIV or at risk for it that we spoke with indicated that, you know what, anymore, I just take one pill a day. I don't really need that help remembering it. What's really useful is when I first got diagnosed, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And so we set out to build a system that helped with that. Yes?
Sir, 2 questions. Are you profit, non-profit, and what's your thoughts on business model?
Right. We are for-profit social enterprise, and the business model is a hybrid model. To begin with, it's advertising, obviously, those referrals, and then each community partner would be paying for a card, so paying to be part of this platform. Thank you. And then on down the road, once we build a user base, we hope to be able to gather enough data that we can provide analytics to these social service organizations so they can figure out which areas are being utilized best and where they should allocate their resources better. Am I leaving anything out? I think that's it. Yes?
With collecting personal health data, what are you doing to safeguard privacy, especially with analytics, even sometimes anonymized data isn't going far enough?
Right.
Yeah, so we are seeking expertise on that. If anyone has knowledge in that, we would welcome that feedback. It's something that we're concerned about and aware of as well, and we're working towards that area. So it's not our expertise, but we're definitely seeking that out.
Yeah.
Is all of the content on the site sort of sponsored content, or is there any content that you gather or
Right now, we're working with our community-based partners to gather this information. So here in the example, this is our first partner, AIDS Partnership Michigan, which recently joined with HART, which is out in Ipsy. And they received a grant from Gilead to create a resource for PrEP, which is a preventative prophylaxis drug for HIV. And so we're also building in some educational resources in that. And so what we've been doing over the summer, they primarily have been doing, is focus groups on what people need to know about PrEP and how they want to access it in platforms such as ours. Does that answer the question?
yeah?
Okay. You in the black. Hi.
Have you considered sort of an inter-user connection component or face-to-face support?
We have considered that. We see that as maybe 2.0 or even 3.0. Initially, it would definitely not be face-to-face. We might provide a way for people to meet up if they so choose, but we're very mindful that a lot of the people who would be accessing this already belong to marginalized community and might feel some stigma and not necessarily want their identity known. But there might be a way to allow people to de-anonymize themselves and meet up with others. Some of these cards are definitely going to be find a peer support group near you. So that they could do it that way. You get it.
Tell me a bit more on the number of people on your team and their skill sets.
And skill sets, sure. So obviously there's the two of us, there's two others. My background is in entrepreneurship and environmental psychology, social science, communication. Maria is?
My background is in web design, development, and graphic design.
And then Ryan Sani just graduated with degrees in public health and epidemiology, and Jeremy Goldman is an undergraduate computer science major. Thank you. Yes?
A lot of the work that you're describing is in the domain of social workers for a long time. Are you looking to replace them for these agencies?
Absolutely not. So we are working with them in tandem. So those AIDS Partnership Michigan and HART, of course, are community-based organizations, AIDS service organizations. What some people have described this as, oh, you're building like a case manager in your pocket. That probably isn't the best tagline, but what we've heard is that those engagements tend to be relatively short, 6 months. And a lot of users feel so stigmatized that they won't even access that in the first place. So it's sort of something to help support their work already. Certainly could never replace them, and we don't want to.
Yeah.
All right, let's give a round of applause. Next up, we have Sam from Onu One. Get set up here and just it's gonna all this work right away. You have some. All right, stage yours.
I'm with Onu One, we call it a business solution for the 21st century. We built a 3D product visualization platform using our patent pending technology. You can reuse existing assets to create 3D product presentations yourself. So using our portal, you can create a presentation and then make it available via a mobile tablet or integrated to your website. We're working using the SaaS model, software as a service, so low upfront cost, low recurring monthly cost. And we feel this is a disruptive technology. People are currently sitting on a lot of 3D data through CAD and other formats, and they're not using it. They're using it kind of stopping at the design and not being used throughout the enterprise. So how did we get started? We got started by, I was involved in a company that does a lot of 3D modeling work, 3D service work. We were at a trade show and got a request from an engineer. He said, when I go out into the field, show my customers my designs, it's really inconvenient. I have to bring my laptop and my SolidWorks, and it's not a very good presentation. So could you make something that could go on a mobile device? And I said, yeah, we could do that. So we got into our customer discovery and found that really this extended beyond that into sales presentations, trade shows, and ultimately into e-commerce and web marketing. So we began in August of 2014 on our development and launched into app stores and with our web integration a few months ago in July. So really, what can it do? Again, software as a service, sign up, use our web portal, and upload your 3D models, your videos, your photos, your web links, your PDF files, all to our custom CMS. We host everything. You then build your presentation via our 3D presentation creation system, and then it's made available automatically to anyone that has the capability of using it on their mobile, which would be any Android or iOS tablet or phone, or with web integration. For your technical people, it can be an iframe embed or a div embed that has a JavaScript interface, so it can be controlled. Then we have analytics on the back end so that the presentations can be optimized for the best use after the fact. All that together is, as I said, patent pending, only software on the market to bring together that full spectrum end to end. Why use it? Really, like I mentioned, 3D data is underutilized right now. Most companies, at least manufacturers, are sitting on a mountain of it, and they're not really using it to its full advantage. It can be used to give a competitive advantage, whether it be web marketing or e-commerce, separating yourself from competition, providing more accurate information to people all the way down throughout the enterprise, whether it be designers going out into the field for their customers, whether it be salespeople, marketers, trainers, or service technicians, and really to help reduce costs as well. So instead of going to a trade show or a sales call and bringing a big bulky object or having to ship it, you can show it here, items that are in pre-production. Service technicians right now, they go out and they have a 2D PDF similar to the one you see there, which causes longer service calls, causes part reorder issues, training, parts being used that can't be sold, and using old versions of parts and products. I'm going to show you a little commercial, and give you a little idea.
My dearest friend Robert, it has been too long since our last correspondence, but I have news. This 17th of June, I invite you to examine my wares as they're displayed in the Williamsburg marketplace. My apprenticeship in smithing has led me to the discovery of an improved flint-lock mechanism that will allow me.
Dude, for the last time, just send a text.
That's it.
All right, 5 minutes of questions. Let's start it off. Who's got it first? Jono.
Commercial looks awesome.
Thanks.
Very slick. What do you think the total market size is for the opportunity?
When you look at our market, it's really any durable consumer goods, essentially, which is a $1 trillion market. We're trying to get the digital marketing piece of that on the front end. We think that our low-hanging fruit is that sales and marketing area, both web and mobile. So we believe the ultimate market is in the billions of dollars, but we're shooting for, revenue-wise, we're looking to get into the tens of millions in the next couple of years.
What was your first market? Who needs this today?
Today, we're shooting for 5 market areas. It would be automotive, sporting goods, electronics, medical device, and what's the last one, Kevin? That's sporting goods.
We get help here with
Drawing a blank, yeah. But those areas, we did a market study and ranked 125 market areas, and those seem to be the ones that we do most.
Which one are you going after first?
Automotive, because it's here. Yeah.
2 quick questions. How many people did you, customer reviews did you do? And can you give us a bit more on what your IP is?
So we did about a dozen customer interviews with people that we either knew or had potential as customers. IP-wise, our patent is on using a web portal to create and customize a 3D product visualization that can then be made available via web or mobile. So it's sort of the front end of the back.
The process IP?
No, it's actually technical IP, but it's
Technical process IP? Are you getting a protection on the software or the process that you're selling?
on the software.
What's the competition look like in this market? I mean, I know you say it's sort of a new market, but hopefully there's some competition.
There's a lot of people that are in it from a service basis. So they're happy to take your models, create them, put them in a custom web app or a mobile app that you may create. There's nothing in the way of a platform where people can upload and do it themselves. So that's really where this is, that's what the patent
Are you trying to replace like AutoCAD, etc., or can you import those files into your?
Yeah, we're looking to be an extension after the fact. So you import it into our engine, our library, then you can build on it for use upwards of the enterprise. We don't ever want to try to replace that. We want to use that data, and we're really making available an outer envelope that's not going to try, we're not trying to get into some security issues or anything like that. We just want to then take it and make it so that, like I said, service technicians, sales, and marketing can use it to their advantage.
Question up in the back. Two. The question was, who's the gorilla in the market? Is there anybody that sort of dominating it right now outside of services?
I'd say, I mean, obviously, if a Dassault or Autodesk wanted to get into this business, they could probably do so. They haven't yet. They have products that get into it, so they have, like Dassault has one that would, they call it Composer. It lets you take their model data and push it out to like a PDF so that you can get product documentation and whatnot. But nothing that's integrated web, mobile, anything like that. So the barrier really is, I guess, a want on their side, and then the RIP too, and then really, they're more concentrated on the market down in the design area, not concentrated up across the enterprise.
Do they have any potential to lock you out through proprietary cloud formats that you can't implement?
Unlikely, mostly because, I mean, there are millions, or not millions, but hundreds of companies that are using these formats and engines and other things. Step files and DWGs and all of these formats are pretty ubiquitous out throughout the industry.
All right. Well, thanks, Sam. So, yeah, that'd be great, actually. So next up is Philip from Axiobionics. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly.
There it is. Okay. I'm Phil from Axial Mannix. I started a company years ago designed to develop electrical wearable muscle stimulation systems. And several years ago, I mean, for the longest time, I was custom designing every single one of these products. But several years ago, I decided I would try to scale. And so here I am today. We are second stage startup, trying to expand what we call wearable therapy. Wearable therapy is electrical stimulation that you can put onto your body. Okay? We use it for neurorehabilitation, also for pain management. Okay? So what is our niche exactly? Well, we deal with people who have paralysis. Okay, so these are people who muscles are paralyzed either partially or fully, and we also do chronic pain. It turns out that this is a pretty large market, because if you look at it, what these neurological patients have in common is that they're injured in the central nervous system, which is the brain or the spinal cord. And this results in paralysis, like I said, either partially or completely. And then we also do this for chronic pain. As it turns out, the Institute of Medicine did a full analysis in 2011 and found out that 100 million of us, or approximately 1/3 of us Americans, are in chronic pain. So it is a pretty significant market. So the problem is when you're paralyzed, it is in fact the problem that the arm or leg doesn't work, but there's lots of issues. You have muscle spasticity, contractures of the arm and various joints, and you cannot use an arm that is in that state. So how do you get that arm functioning again? How do you get it at least better prepared orthopedically to go through rehabilitation? That's kind of the key. How do you prepare these arms? Well, traditional therapy is quite limited as it turns out. Medicare will reimburse about 30 hours a year, which for a neurological patient is not a lot of time. So just like what we want to do is try to instill lots of muscle therapy time. So if you're wearing an electrical stim device, you can boost your therapy time to about 4,000 hours per year, which is significant above the traditional means. And that's really very, very helpful. So our goal is to put instrumented garments on people. That's our next step. What we'd like to do is develop this technology to the point where it has quite a bit of sophistication to it. So we're going to develop electronics. We're going to add sensors to the sleeves, to the garments, so that we can measure joint motion, joint positioning, muscle activity. We're going to relay all this information back to our servers. We're going to develop reports. And this is going to help us show and demonstrate to insurance companies and to physicians how well the patients are doing, because right now that doesn't exist. So this is just a closer look at the activity monitoring that we want to do. Because, for example, if you're in chronic pain, we want to know how active you are, because, in fact, a lot of people in chronic pain are not active, and their pain levels are very high. So if we can correlate low pain levels with high activity, that's going to boost our reimbursement possibilities. That's what we really want to do. And that's going to be very good for post-market surveillance. We're going to monitor pain meds. Because pain meds are very, very expensive. This is sort of what's driving healthcare costs up. As it turns out, very, very difficult to control pain. And pain medications don't do a very good job of that. And they are very, very expensive. So a typical pain patient would go through quite a lot of medication for managing the pain, the depression, and the muscle spasms that they have. But in comparison, if we just lower the cost even 25%, we save a huge amount of money. So we're definitely fixated on that kind of a goal. So ultimately, we're trying to improve healthcare outcomes. So we want to improve objective documentation and then lower healthcare costs. So our objective is to try to build a team that can get that job done, and we welcome anybody who wants to come and talk to us about that. Thanks.
He's got some questions for Phil.
Yes, sir.
That looks an awful lot like a medical device.
It is.
Yeah, you mentioned the FDA once.
Well, yes, it's an FDA. Well, we're already operating under FDA Class 2. Yes.
Through your existing
Company, yes. The way that the product is existing today, it's a Class 2. Yes, sir.
Can you give us an idea of a sense of scale? That device looks incredible, by the way. Is this being used by tens of people right now, hundreds of people right now, thousands of people right now, as you've been accustomed to building them on a sort of overall basis, I guess?
Exactly. We've built probably about 3,000 of them in the last couple decades. Yeah, one by one. That's got to change, though. Yes, sir.
So it's not clear, you said the first stage of building these custom one-offs, and the next stage is on sort of some level of mass production. Is that just a technology change, or is it just scale?
Well, we've already made one scaling iteration change so that we can make these a lot faster, because when I first started, it would take 3 or 4 visits whereby the patient would come to me, and it would take me 3 or 4 visits to customize it. Now it takes just 2. So we've already improved that, but we do think that by improving the technology in a way, for example, digitizing the body and getting an image would help us to go from the body to an actual garment very quickly. And we should be able to do that anywhere. Like if people send us files from anywhere in the world, we should be able to produce these garments.
But ultimately, each one of them has to be sort of custom.
Well, not necessarily. Because of the amount of experience we have, we've determined that we can make some of these garments in sizes and in certain shapes. So our algorithm will be able to determine and match certain garments to the patient's measurements. But then if those people, certain people fall outside that realm, then we can custom design it. Yes, sir.
What's the most expensive part of your product? Labor or battery?
Oh, actually, that's a good question. It is not materials. It is labor, because when you've got to sew. Some of these garments have to be sewn quite skillfully. But other than that, there's the surrounding infrastructure of the company that imposes a lot of costs. The medical field is very, very expensive to operate in. You've got lots of regulation to be concerned about, and I have several licenses. So, to keep that properly under control is very expensive. But the actual materials are not expensive.
Have you given any thought to using Wi-Fi inside the device to be able to transmit logs in encrypted format that meets HIPAA requirements and things like that?
Definitely, that's certainly part of what we want to do, because when patients are wearing a product, we want to know what's going on with the patient. And to get that information, it's got to go through the web somehow. It's got to be encrypted for HIPAA compliance. But definitely want to get that information, because people are out there in the space, and we want to know what's happening with it. Are they operating the product safely, for example, number one? And number two, can we collect information to see their progress?
So you'd be able to share that with their physician as well.
Absolutely, that's the whole point. We want to be able to build a database of, each patient that comes to us is attached to a physician, and those physicians are going to want to know how well are those patients doing. Definitely.
Time for one more question.
Red shirt.
I think the slide mentioned that 10 years savings. 10 years is a significantly longer time than a piece of clothing is normally expected to last, including shoes and eyeglasses. Would the device last that long, and if it did, would it have to be replaced at the end of that time, or what's the lifetime of the device?
Well, we've had this on lots and lots of patients. Probably the longest standing garment I've seen existing is 12 years. Now, we do routinely provide multiple garments, and that's the beauty of the business. These are long-standing patients. They're going to stay with us for a very, very long time, if not lifetime. So we're going to be supplying them with garments over time.
All right.
All right, so schedule change on the fourth one, which I know a lot of people, including myself, are looking forward to seeing. Companion is just getting too much press, apparently. They got an email this morning from one of the co-founders saying, "Oh, we're just super busy, got to go heads down." And they just did a demo day as part of Cool House Labs on this past Friday. So look for them next month, and hopefully they'll have all kinds of funding to talk about. So for our final company, it's one that I've actually been familiar with for a while because we were co-located in the same co-working space back in 2012. A company called DeepField that sat in this room. For those who are unfamiliar, the Tech Brewery, still a space available if you're looking for somewhere for your company to get started. Really, sort of just great, like shared space, shared ideas, shared mission kind of environment to be in. But Luke and Naim from DeepField are here to tell us about their company, which is a bit further along. And so we're going to get to hear another snapshot of the story, not just how it's getting started, but where are they now.
Thanks, Ryan, for that. Beer's a little early. It's cool. All right, let's see if this thing works. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, how do you present? Jesus, it's not res. Oh well, whatever.
Down in the left-hand corner.
Oh yeah. Usually use Keynote. Sweet. All right, so I'm Naim Falandino from DeepField. I'm the chief data scientist and one of the directors of engineering there. I've got my coworker Luke Carmichael here, also a director of engineering and chief architect. And yeah, like as mentioned, we incubated, or I guess that's probably not the proper term, but we sat next to Duo for a while, and Zach and Olar, so friendly faces in the audience, pretty cool. But yeah, we're about into going on to year 4 now of our hiring spree. We have a swanky new office. I'll show you pictures of that in a few minutes. And basically, we're a software company that is addressing the networking space. A lot of service providers, telecoms, ISPs, big network operators, data center operators, to help with their security, performance, and control. So we just sell software. We don't sell appliances. We take bare metal Linux or VMs or whatever kind of good quality, fast hardware you can throw at us. And we run basically software that will ingest data telemetry from across the network, from routers and switches, DNS, application logs. Basically, we will consume whatever kind of data you can throw at us. And we will normalize that into a view that lets you rationalize about your network from a business standpoint. And we do this all in real time, which is pretty cool. Got a pretty deep bench, a lot of experience in network analytics and security. Some of our team members helped build the original NSFNet, and as well as a lot of experience from big data science across a number of industries. A few pictures of our new smoky office. Next door to Duo, so it's pretty cool.
Following them.
Yes, we're like lagging like a year and a half behind their like trajectory, I feel like, in sometimes. And this is a chunk of our Ann Arbor team. Most of our sales force is distributed, but we're rapidly approaching around 50 people. So I'll turn off the loop down a little bit, talk about our products.
Yeah, so we have 3 main products. Cloud Intelligence, which is a traffic engineering and planning tool. So all the internet you guys provide, in some sense, we usually analyze. We are notably at Comcast and TWC. Those are our 2 largest public, though we're at a number of smaller and other popular ones that we can't mention. We basically, so every packet that's sent across the web, people have to plan for how many routers, just like your in-house router, should they buy, how many, how much peering should they peer with at Netflix. And we help them do that. We help them plan that. We help them troubleshoot problems and just day-to-day types of things, analytics on your NetFlow. The other product that we're releasing momentarily, so this is a new thing for us, is Defender, which is DDoS mitigation. So we already have a platform based on the Cloud Intelligence platform that we handle tons of NetFlow, BGP, everything you need to do DDoS. So we did it. Yeah, so that's what we're doing, releasing September, yes. The next one is Subscriber Intelligence, which Subscriber Intelligence is basically taking the traffic and network planning view down to the subscriber level, which is pretty interesting. And in some sense, you're wondering why does a MSO need that? Why does Verizon need that? Why does any AT&T or Comcast, why do they need that? Basically, so a lot of times you have nodes right near your house that need to be serviced, and if they're not performing well at an individual subscriber level, then you don't get good service. So.
Yeah. So this is just a quick view of some of the types of data we deal with in our platform. We obviously consume lots of network data, enterprise data. We also have our own proprietary data sets. We continuously scan the web and crawl the web to figure out how certain services are being delivered, and we use that to enrich our data sets. It's all built on top of our Singularity platform that we use to power these applications. The three on the far right side over there. And then just a couple of use cases as we wrapped up. Traffic engineering, CDN traffic management, security, threat detection, mitigation, data center analytics. And we understand the network, right? This is a view of Instagram as its service is delivered for a anonymized customer. We have lots of cool, powerful tools where you can enrich the data sets with what your costs are. We can figure out how you can save more money. We have lots of cool visualizations you can use to basically dive into the data and explore it in unique ways. So that's DeepField in a nutshell. If you want to come talk to us afterwards.
has any questions, right?
We're hiring.
So, yeah. Oh, you're hiring too. Who's got some questions? Fire away.
Yep.
So,
Hit me.
Loaded question.
Sure.
Beyond being cloud-based, what's the biggest difference for you guys from our platform?
So we actually, turns out for most of our biggest customers, we actually aren't in the cloud because they'd like to keep their data in-house on-prem. I think one of the biggest things is just fundamental architecture. Arbor has a great product, a lot of years of, features have been built into it, but it's somewhat constrained in terms of how you can explore the data. We are built on a truly modern, leading-edge, large-scale data analytics platform. Just to give you some raw sense of difference, you can write a query that can dive into the most nuanced aspect of your network. So this specific router, this specific group of customers, this specific service, and that's another big differentiator. I mentioned we have these proprietary data sets where we're going out and scanning the web. We actually have CDN level visibility where you can say, okay, so I want to know about Akamai traffic, which is a very popular CDN, but more than that, I want to know about the specific iTunes traffic being delivered by Akamai into this market, across this router, into this cost segment of customers, like this 30 meg package, right? It just provides a huge level of visibility. And the cool thing is when you're out scanning the web like that, we also can use this to build really, I would say, fairly good quality lists of botnets, malicious actors in the network, and we use that in our security product.
Hey, there's a question for those not familiar with the network and security space. How long did it take to get this company, to get your first customer? How many years, months of R&D was there before? So it seems like it's probably big sales.
It's big sales, yeah. I mean, it's not as long as you think. I guess we had we had an R&D partner early on, and I guess when do you want to call it GA? I would say probably our first real sale.
Somebody gave you a check, maybe that.
That was that. We actually
relatively quickly. I mean,
we actually made back all of our seed money within the first 12 months, and we are way cash flow positive.
Mr. Simpson.
Hi. So, who are your competitors?
So, the aforementioned Arbor Networks.
I
trying
mean,
to decide what I want to say, but yeah, so we definitely compete with them a bit in the security space, although frankly a lot of our deals are.
There's not a lot of competition. So another way that we're all
Go ahead.
not perfectly aligned.
Not perfectly aligned. It's a very interesting market right now. A lot of people are trying to make waves. Some of the entrenched competition would be the DPI vendors like Coursera, Sandline a lot. We don't really, frankly, see them getting a lot of traction. Their solution is too expensive, frankly. We can do the 90% of what people care about with a DPI solution for a fraction of cost. It's not in line. It's a lot nicer. There's some younger companies out there like what's it, Kintech? That I feel like are more aligned with what we're trying to do, but maybe less MSO, more focused on operational space for enterprise. Or you've got your Glavis, which is sort of makes a lot of splashy PR. But yeah,
there's a lot of different companies, but we also are really going after. We'll take in a lot of different data sets, and we're trying to build up a marketplace of incoming data sets that we call connectors that will enable you really to use that network data to the fullest effect. So we're not perfectly aligned, but yes, we're definitely playing and overlapping a lot of different people.
Okay. Go ahead, you may moderate.
Yeah.
Do you have your own cloud or are you using commercial cloud?
Commercial. Yeah. That it's either commercial or on-premise for the customer.
Another question, Peter?
You talked about how it sits in your network. Do all devices send all their logs to your devices or appliances?
So it depends, but in general, yes. Yeah. Some customers are more sophisticated. They might have aggregation tools because they're shipping it to lots of different analysis systems. But basically, yeah. I think that
one more question. Okay.
I've heard rumors of ISPs lying about their security bottlenecks. Is that something that you would?
See, 5, 4, 3, no.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. I think that basically all the interested parties, whether you're a content provider or an ISP, have something to gain by trying to manipulate public perception of what's actually happening. So don't believe what you read in the news.
But I'll also say we've worked with a number of these network providers, and like you guys, they're pretty technical, and they're really a lot of they're really interested in providing the best product. Maybe their service organizations don't give them the best PR. I'll say that, but they really they're really interested in optimizing the bandwidth for their company.
So
thanks a lot, guys.
yeah, thank you.
All right, so community announcements. I like seeing people look back. So if you want to come down on the side, if you have anything to announce from either jobs, other meetups, any comments of other things that you want to see going on in the community, now is your time for the floor.
Cool.
Start off with Zach,
Yeah,
former
everyone,
host.
I'm Zach Steidler from OLARC. We are a company that is helping people with their sales and supports on the internet, primarily through live chat. So if you've gone on our website and seen the little chat window in the corner, many of those are our customers. We're about a 35-person company distributed across 20 different geographies. But we have about 8 people in Ann Arbor, and we have a listing for an Ann Arbor office manager. This person will be helping us with internal and external events and helping our people ops. There's more information at olarc.com/jobs. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks.
John Overhead from DualSecurity. Security. I just wanted to give a quick announcement that actually on Thursday this week we have a Duo Tech Talks event at our office where Dennis from Verta Labs will be giving a talk about their hard fingerprinting technologies. So if you're interested in electrical engineering or security or medical devices or embedded systems, come check it out. It should be a good event. We're on the Meetup site too, so if you just Google for Duo Tech Talks, you should see it.
Hi, I'm Ben Taub. I'm with Data Space here in town, also with Alertly. We'll be presenting next session, I believe. But with regard to Data Space, I'm working with a client who is looking for a C#.NET developer. So if anybody's looking for a cool job and there's a C#.NET developer want to be here in Ann Arbor, just pull me aside. Thanks.
Good evening, I'm Mike DeBella. I'm not a developer. I am a content specialist with 15 years experience. I write locally for Ann Arbor Current, also do radio at WCBN, write for national publications like Vibe, OK Player, and Herb. If you have any content needs, come talk to me afterwards. Thank you.
I'm Nick Stelter. I'm a recent graduate at that boot camp, and I'm looking for programming opportunities here in Ann Arbor.
Hey guys, Steve Sherman. We started a Ann Arbor Lean Startup Circle meetup, kind of similar to A2 New Tech, a little smaller in size, more of a group discussion with the goal of helping early stage entrepreneurs build traction in their business. Our next meetup is actually tomorrow night. Next time we're going to try and space it out from A2 New Tech. But we are on the meetup site. We had about 20 people last time at our first event. Looking forward to growing that a little bit at our second one. Thanks.
Anybody else from the crowd? I'll give a plug for another. Oh, Doug.
It's still unusual, but that's on security. There's an article and a video posted recently by Cloud Engineering that was actually remarkable. It actually is a little bit of a history of how the net was born. You go look it up, you'll find it. I'll post it to the website. But I think what people don't realize is what role Michigan had in the creation of the public internet, and why companies like DeepField, which actually was an outgrowth of the success we had at a previous company who started that our networks, which was over 4 billion years ago. Where it all comes back to. It's a really interesting story. But again, there's something in the water here, getting way back to the 50s and 60s, around again the computing center, the NSF net, again, all this stuff combined actually becomes the virtual internet. But I'll post it on the media website. Look for how the net was won in Michigan.
Yeah, so when I click my weather meetup, anybody that's in a support role in any company or customer happiness, customer success, and I have a friend and colleague, Trevor from Duo, and some other folks at Microwave Nutshell are hosting just a share war stories, a single presentation by somebody, and then exchange on what's going well, what's not. So if you work in that or know anybody in that area, I think it's called CX Meetup, and it's on October 1. A2CX. Yeah, that's close.
Yeah. I have another different announcement. Southeast Michigan is singular for the number of very affordable, incredible tech conferences it has. Two in particular that are coming up that have an open call for speakers are Detroit Dev Day. They're looking for people to present on any variety of technical topics. And that's, again, Detroit Dev Day. And the other one is DevOps Day Detroit. So focusing in particular on server administration, server maintenance, real-time log searching, that sort of thing. So I will try to remember to post links in the comments of this event. But if you're a developer looking to learn more or looking for a speaking opportunity, definitely check them out.
All right, that's a wrap for our September 2015 meetup. Thanks everybody for coming out. There'll be some folks mingling around here for a little bit, and then we often go to Pizza House, but I'm going to suggest Dominic's tonight because the weather's nice.
I already told 2 people we're going to be at Pizza House.
Well,
call them up.
Yeah, give them a text.
Do you have reservations at Dominic's?
No.
Then you better call them.
We'll be good.
Before everybody.
Thanks everybody for coming out.
Yeah.